Hello, fringers. The following podcast may not be suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Look alive, fringers.
It's 2099 and we are live and loud in the underground. From the streets to the scar. Keep your chip hidden, your gun loaded, and never trade your soul for souls.
Turn it up and let them know.
Big Brother is watching. Time to put on a show.
Let's look back at what happened last time on Neon Trails. Dog nervously told Mox about his previous life in the corpse and how an old acquaintance passed on intel revealing that Urban Warfare Industries, whose headquarters is in the Santa Fe Plex, was involved with Mercury's abduction. They then told the rest of the crew, who became very worried about the potential of taking on a corporation. Mox was especially vocal about the dangers of doing so. But they decided to get some intel from Paperboy first and then consider their options and resources. The next morning, Paperboy hosted a breakfast meeting for the crew in the upper levels of Solace amidst the tech and sensors spanning the canyon. He shared that he's been working with Katassi and was able to get a basic idea of what happened, but something or someone was intentionally obscuring most of the data. They learned that Mercury left DJ territory with Janice Turman and a small assortment of troops in a lightly armored, fast-moving truck. The exact details of the attack are unclear, but what is known is that Mercury was taken to the fringes of the Las Vegas Plex by Winston Steele. Given her wealth of experience and knowledge, Drall recalled that Steele is a longtime enemy of the DJs and frequently engaged in territorial disputes. It seems that Steele took advantage of Mercury leaving DJ territory to strike. Dog added that Steele was probably assisted by Urban Warfare. PB theorized that they could be the source of whatever tech was obscuring Solace's satellites. He also said that the exact location where Mercury was being held was still being determined, but as the crew brainstormed, they figured out a way to track the location by the absence of data. While this exposition was happening, B and Sam had a wonderful breakfast, sharing mimosas and heartfelt stories about Galen and family. We returned to the crew, who was still debating what to do. While the danger of entering a fringe was far less than entering a plex and taking on a corp, there's still a lot of risk. And that is right where we will pick up. So it is now a little bit closer to lunchtime, but still morning. Breakfast is still on the table. Cups and food has been kind of tossed around as you all have been debating and discussing and eating anxiously and using cups and pastries as tools to highlight things and try to work through these thoughts and the heavy situation that's going on. PB is still working on his hacking programs and his search programs that he was working on last time with Katassi that Mox assisted him with. He is not as engaged as he was in that like super hacker focused programming mode, but he's still busy working on it, but he's participating in the conversation with the rest of you. And we will zoom back in here and pick up this debate about what to do next. There's a moment of silence at the table as everyone is chewing their breakfast, considering what has just been said, trying to coalesce their thoughts into what really we want to do next.
There's just a lot to think about, you know? Drall looks at everyone, and then she looks at PB. This is just really up there, you know?
Wait, what? Sorry, I was typing something. Yes, we're up here. At the top of the king. What?
What I'm saying is, I'm coming to you with is a big deal. It's a big job.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a not us thing in the way that it would usually be an us thing, right? Right? Am I right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, we want to help, right? But like, and she just kind of gets caught up in herself and crosses her arms and sits back.
Well, then.
PB does a little bit of work, and he kind of sits back in his chair. I mean, yeah, it does seem like everything we're talking about is super dangerous, right? I mean, there's a lot of very dangerous things going on right now, but obviously heading into the Vegas Fringe is going to be more dangerous than not going. I don't want you to do something super dangerous, but I feel like if they called you for help, it must be for a reason, right? Like, why didn't they call the rest of the dust jockeys? Or why didn't they call anybody else that they have contacts with in this part of the country? They didn't call us. And I mean, it's not like we're buddies, but like we help each other.
Well, PP, I know you're kind of new here, but they called me for a reason. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I did think it was kind of funny that that Janice had your number. Yeah,
Was it
I mean,
funny, haha?
I mean, out of everybody they could have called, like, I didn't think you were in like charge of all of this stuff. Wow, that sounded really rude. I'm super sorry. I'm super sorry. Like, I'm not trying. I thought like the other guy was in charge, and now he's, not. But then you were in charge, and then I didn't know. So, but why you? Like, maybe you're like secretly in charge. Like, I don't know.
Nailed it, brother.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure she would have picked somebody her phone name PP instead of dog.
I don't know who this guy is that you keep talking about.
So,
Is there like someone else in the crew that I haven't met yet?
Oh, yeah. No, well. Let's stop being contentious. It's a big word, I know. It means, not content.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot to not be content about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
so I had a thought. Well, I still very much think that the concerns that I've been mentioning are worth taking into account. I think that I'm very used to operating in the now and the next hour, the next day, the next week. And thinking in those terms, going in there is probably a very bad idea. But there's more here at stake, and gestures around. And then just the now. So, in the long term, helping Shreddy? Probably a good investment in the future. Even if it's not that great an investment for us.
I hear you. Let's think. Let's use our big brains here. Now, I don't want to get shot at no more. I was gonna say I don't want to shoot at nobody. Well, I just don't want to get shot at no more. I don't want you to get shot at. Is there a way we can Dog becomes very frustrated. How can we fix this without getting shot?
On that wonderful inquiry being screamed out into the ethos, let's see what Sam and B are up to, because as we recall, we did leave them back at the workshop, smashing on mimosas and having very heartfelt conversations. So what have you two been up to?
Well, right now, I think we are... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just going to say drinking.
I think we're going to say the same thing, honestly. I think we're stumbling drunkenly through the streets at the moment because we forgot
booze.
about the... Yeah, with the booze. It's an open carry city,
no
obviously.
one cares.
Like, it's all arms out there, and
Everything goes in Solace.
It's what happens there stays there, I heard. And so like
Sometimes.
except for never mind. So I think we're kind of stumbling our way back towards where everybody was. Because we gave up and forgot about the Rav a long time ago. And let's be honest, with the two of us weren't going to get it done anyways. Like, let's be real about that. Like,
There's definitely an upside down panel right now.
Oh, absolutely. There might be a flare launcher where a dick is supposed to be for a female Rav. Who knows? We don't know at this point.
Maybe two flare launchers in different places.
Who knows? And we looked at Mox's plan, and we just were kind of like, it started getting fuzzy, and we just said, "Fuck it."
Yeah,
It's really hard to do mechanical work when your hands are numb from drinking so much, and your head's a little swimmy. It's just,
Yeah.
So, I think we're drunk and stumbling on back. I got a bag of booze. There's a pitcher of orange juice.
Any minute we can come barreling through the door.
I think, like, objectively, I understand that you have like a tote bag with bottles of booze in it, but I also feel it's equally possible that B literally just has a plastic bag that she poured a drink into.
It's like
and
a
is, like,
wine
clutching
skin.
the
No,
top
it's
with
like a wine skin.
twisty-
Okay,
It's just
it's like
okay.
the old days.
Okay.
But it's probably vodka.
There's multiple. I have a backpack full of clinking bottles. There's probably a wine bag full of questionable
like one of those sippy backpacks that runners wear, but it's just like mixed drinks in there.
Yeah, it's just a camelback of vodka at this point. Like, I mean, pretty much as dogs screaming out, "How do we steal this without getting shot?" Like, I feel like we bust through the room and we go, "Shots!"
And I didn't want to say Camelback unless we had the sponsorship, but I'll put it out there. Hey, Camelback, we're just building the marketing campaign for you here. Get a hold of us.
With vodka.
I won't say what I did during college, but
excellent for marathons.
It works. It works.
I'll do an ad read for you, Camelback. All you got to do.
And here's the thing: be real
or Camel up.
Think about the alcohol they're probably actually distilling here. That's probably starting to like melt down the rubber and plastic of the.
It's totally grain alcohol.
Oh yeah, it's moonshine to the fullest,
and rainwater. Okay, yeah. So as dog is debating how to pursue this without bodily harm, Sam and B re-enter the scene. PB is very surprised by this, and he was doing that thing where he was like tipping backwards in his chair but kind of balancing on the table, and then it surprises him, so he almost falls but he almost catches himself. So it's very much the kick, but he doesn't wake up because this is actually really happening. So now everyone's back together. Hey, he says, I agree with the not getting shot thing. I've never been shot, and I'd like to continue not being shot. Not that I'm saying I'm going to go with you. Not that I'm saying I wouldn't go with him. Not. But I want to stay. I want everybody to stay safe.
Wow, what's this place? I got shots. If you want shots,
it's very fancy.
As they stumble in like that, Mox just somewhat quietly.
Oh, good. Now some level heads can weigh in the discussion.
I mean,
What?
yes. Sure.
What are y'all talking about?
Yeah. And we look, Sam looks behind her, like looking for other people in the room.
We're visibly swaying a little bit.
Oh, God, yeah.
Level head.
Is that a camelback with vodka in it?
Yeah, it's fresh. You want some?
No.
Ingenuity.
Jesus Christ.
It's afternoon. It's afternoon, right?
Somewhere.
I like that. Yes.
Mark says,
You have a serious problem. Hey, babe, you want a beer?
Hell yeah. Lunchtime calories is calories.
grabs 2 beers while still eyeballing the camelback. Jesus.
I know, I got a problem.
I think it's a great idea.
What is a problem? This is breakfast.
The current problem.
Okay, what is current problem?
Current problem is here. Do you want like a piece of bread or something? You hungry?
No, I love carbs.
Yeah, me too. Gives you both a piece of bread. Current problem is that
Piece of bread.
Just a white bread.
just a piece of bread.
Just some Wonder Bread lying around.
Wonder bread lying around or something.
But she just takes it and she's just like just holding it like, but like drink in the other hand kind of thing, right? Like
He absolutely rolled it up into a ball and started eating it that way. So
Such a college dorm room meeting right now.
Drall keeps a loaf of bread in her jacket at all times. But the current problem is that, we got called to do some shit, and maybe that shit's like, I don't know, like not our thing right now.
okay, what shit? Because we do a lot of shit.
Yeah.
What's going on? I missed everything. I had to sleep. I finally slept. So, and now I'm drinking. But that's a different problem for another day. What is happening? 5 minutes.
explain it to me like I'm 5.
Someone.
I was just going to say, for the ease of the narrative, did we just want to say that we catch them up?
Sure. I think PB PB can jump into the silence here as everyone is trying to struggle for words and give a brief summary about everything we that happened last week and we talked about and summarized and where we are. So yes,
Thanks.
PB summarizes the details.
Yeah, I mean, we could help.
Thanks, BB.
That's PB, and so basically, so Tog and got a call, and then it was like, "Hey, this guy you might know, he got kidnapped by this group of corpos, and this other guy that we kind of might know that I don't really want to talk about. It's just you, and I just don't think that's a thing for this family."
Okay.
So we're
But-
not going to go there and shoot people.
Yes, that.
Do we have to go there and shoot people though? Because do y'all remember like those guys with the pirate ship and all the other people that showed up when we were like in real big trouble with the not zombies?
Yeah.
They know.
Wonder if they're
DJs.
busy. Wonder if they're busy,
Wait, there was a pirate ship in the desert.
Yeah, it was real cool. We were all like running for our lives, but
Oh,
I got to see
grenades.
that. It was great.
Throughout all of this, Mox is standing by a window, just looking like he's disassociating, just hounding through cigarettes.
PB is kind of dialed into this conversation now that it's a little bit more exciting. And he's like, okay, so if I can kind of distill what I'm hearing here, it seems like y'all want to help, but maybe you want to find some other people to help too? So it's not just you running into this dangerous situation, getting hurt?
Yeah, why not? Like, with whoever is big enough and scary enough to mess with a bunch of people who have a fucky ball and a bunch of armored stuff, like, I feel like we can't go this alone. There's no way in hell. We got the Windy Bagel and, like, us. And we have a kid now.
Well, the kid would not be coming with us. No.
No,
he
but
would
it
stay
would be
here.
important. It would be important to keep you alive.
Yeah.
Prefer to be alive, yes. But this Mercury person is important, yes?
Not more important than us right now.
Fair enough.
Somewhere a dog barks in Solace. A lone dog amidst the lunchtime chaos of the community.
And as there's the moment of silence aside from the dog barking, Mox, mid-drag, still looking like he's disassociating, says, "We have to help Mercury. We have to. Think about the long term. What's happening here is a shift in the power balance in the area. Well, Mercury might not be perfect. He seems to at least have some ideas that we all agreed with. Whereas, from what I know of this Steel fellow, he's mostly a prick. So, help, yes. I don't want to go in there by ourselves. Getting help. But I think we have to.
PB stands up and kind of stretches. That stretch where you've been at a meeting for too long and you're like, you want to leave the meeting, but you're not ready to leave the meeting. You don't know if it's socially appropriate to leave the meeting. So you're kind of like stretching to maybe signify that the meeting's done, but you're not sure if the meeting's done. And he's like, okay, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good plan. The question just becomes like, who and how? I know that a lot of what we do is going to depend on me finishing this part. And he's like referring to the hollow screens that are still crunching away and processing the data. But as you remember, and he kind of motions over to Drall, as you remember, this is like my task right now. This is my job. They told me not to do the other stuff that they just told me to do like a few days ago that I was just trying to figure out. And now I'm not doing that anymore, which is really weird. Now I'm doing this, but I can focus on this. This is like what I feel much better doing. So it'll probably take me at least until tonight to figure out like where to go or where we can send people if we find people. So like if you can find people, then I'll find where to send the people, and then we can like organize, collaborate.
Question.
Be the people telling the other people how to do the stuff that they know how to do. Like, yeah, right?
What do these people want with him? Nobody
like-
knows?
Maybe his fucking wall.
Right. So, but what's
Or
the
his forest.
the fucky wall again? Okay, he's got a forest
Yes.
in the middle of a desert.
Puts the glow in front of you that I took picture.
Mercury had impressive technology when we were able to see. Not to mention, he is a powerful influence in the area, so maybe hoping to gain a little bit of both of those.
But if they have army, whoever took him does not worry that they have army coming for them? That's
what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Because I said, why didn't they call home? Why did they call you? I said that. I said that like a little bit ago. I just said that. He looks over at Dog. Like I said that. We talked about that.
Yes, yeah, you said that in a condescending way. I do recall that.
I was content with what I said.
Yeah, you.
Oh no, contentious, not condescending. I'm sorry.
I'm sure I wasn't content.
Hold on. He makes a little note. Contentious, those are different words, different letters.
Yeah.
Everyone is learning something today. I see. Yes.
How much knowledge do people have about how much stuff Shreddy Mercury had underground? Because we had to really rub on that wall to get in there, and all of it was underground. It just looked like a pile of dirt from the sky. Right?
For all we know, they could have been business partners. Like, for all we know. I mean, there's so many things that it could be. People are so interconnected, and there's just so many ways this could have gone.
I will add to that, says Paperboy.
Yeah.
The dust jockey territory is like locked down. You know that, right? Like no one goes in and out.
No.
Intel on what they have internal to their territory is very slim. Not like what we're dealing with right now, where something is obscuring the data and the satellites. It's just like old school intelligence operations. They just don't let anything out. So if you're saying that the DJs had a whole bunch of wild advanced technology, maybe no one knows about it.
Maybe someone did.
That's a good point. UW's pretty good at knowing stuff. I'm just saying. But let's go with that assumption for a minute.
But that doesn't answer the question as to why they didn't use their own army to go save Mercury. As far as I can tell, there are 3 possible explanations. Maybe there are more. 1, they just don't want to reveal the tech that they have. 2, there was some type of double-crossing from inside the dust jockeys themselves. Or 3, I've forgotten the third. I genuinely did forget the third.
That's okay.
Damn it, I had a third.
That's all right. It'll come back to you. Just don't think about it. You have a beer.
Would you like a shot?
That'll help. No.
That was good role playing right there. You forgot the third thing. Dang. I mean, that was really good role playing. Speaking not as Dog, you forgot the third thing. Fantastic work, Ethan.
Yep, totally. Just an in-character decision to have forgotten the third thing.
That's what we call improv. Fantastic.
You're committed to the bit. You know, you're locked into that character so well. So yeah, P-Bay.
P-Bay forever!
Damn it.
You almost said
another take. I did it again. This is
I remembered the third thing.
Great.
I remember the third thing. It's not nearly that interesting after all this. But third option, maybe something happened that locked down all of their stuff. And so they needed to call outside. As far as I can tell, they're the only 3. Anyone think of more?
Oh God, I don't know too.
Solace got locked down, kinda. We didn't have the people to get at the borders, but we were locked down involuntarily. Could be something like that too.
Drall is going to slide her hand across the table, just in the direction of PB. Thank you for everything you're doing, and thank you for being here for us. We're just trying to figure this shit out, and I know we're keeping you from work.
It sounds like this is the work, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I follow what Mox is saying, this guy being gone actually puts Solace at danger. So that means means I'm in danger, which I do not take too lightly. Been in danger for like 2 weeks straight. It sucks balls.
Here's a thought.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So at some point in time, whoever this person is, we should rescue them. What if, and they're where are they do we know where he's being held, roughly? Anywhere? Like...
Paper Boy points at the map.
Okay. Outside...
This area.
Outside Vegas or inside Vegas? I can't tell.
No, out in the fringe. Somehow they're making some of the buildings not show up on our scans and our satellites. But we're kind of we're trying to zero in. That's what I was saying earlier about still trying to work on all this stuff, like trying to figure out exactly where and get like a location. But they're like obscuring what we can do. But I'll figure it out later. I'll figure it out by tonight, probably.
Thank you. Because if we're gonna do this, we're gonna need all the information we can get. And if they keep blacking out the information, maybe calling in some favors of people who are nearby who could give some information that way.
Information is the currency of this world. Yes, like, is it a thing where we could end up there and blend in and try to do some stuff, and maybe even perhaps is there a way to cause distraction where we could just grab him and go without having to fight our way out? Maybe we could even trade for his life without having to get shot.
Well, to do the stealthy one, we would need very detailed information. Maps, patrol patterns, staffing information. We would need to be able to plan that to the second.
Could Katassi help with that too?
Well, yeah, we're both working on this like right now. He motions to the screen. We're definitely close to figuring this out. Like we just figured out a little bit ago like what we need to do to really understand what we're not seeing, what's being hidden from us. So we're gonna get through that and get as close to an actual blueprint map, minute by minute, second by second, like you're talking about, pointing at Mox. I don't have it yet. Like I said, by tonight.
Paperboy, would there be any way to get any records of communications or be able to tap into their communications network from here?
Like the communications of what's going on wherever they took Mercury?
Yes. Anything, any additional types of information.
Yeah, I think that's all part of what I'm trying to do. Because,
cool.
If they, whatever they're doing, whoever the they is in this sentence, or whatever the it is that they're doing, everything's in a bubble, right? We can't see anything. We can't hear anything. But if we can, track it by, like you talked about, by seeing what's not there to figure out what is there, then we can find the things that are next to the thing that's not there and go in from outside to figure out what's inside. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
Cool. I just wanted to confirm that would include other things other than just GPS.
Mm-hmm.
That is within the scope of this project.
So, if we're all on the same page here, I think we need to do two things, says Paperboy. I think I can do the first one, which is finishing this part, motioning at the table and the hollow screens and all that stuff. So that when it's done and you have the second part, well, you have to do the second part first. Maybe that should really be the first part. So the first part is that you need to talk to people and find people who can do this. And if they're making the distraction, if they're doing all the work, like, I don't know, but you can find the people that you can work with to like orchestrate and direct. And if they're the distraction and you go in and do the thing or whatever the thing is, so that when I have the first part done, which is the second part, when I have the second part done, we can just all get back together and go. Because then if you have the people and then I have where to send them, then you can just send them. Yeah?
Paperboy, I want you to hear me when I say this. I appreciate everything you've been doing. But who are you to tell me what to do? Like, seriously, you are like, what are you, 32? Boss.
I feel like you're being a little ageist here, Grandpa. You need to calm down.
What's
Thank
going
you.
on?
What is going on?
Jesus, I was kidding.
What's going on?
You're bad at jokes.
Sorry.
I'm sending you a thumbs up right now.
See, I understand how to interpret that.
Because you listen. And we appreciate that.
And that is nice.
You do listen very well. Thank you.
Is that the only thing you appreciate about him?
Well, yeah, because the rest is for dog.
Paperboy, I apologize.
I mean, I kind of missed the whole thing. I got super confused with like that social dynamic that was going on with your little group that I'm not really a part of. So I just kind of wiped out that whole little blip of conversation. I was really confused.
You're a part of it. It's just different because you're kind of a new part of it. We'll get used to.
Yeah, like that whole part was apart from before I was apart. So it was like there was like a thing I couldn't figure out. But like, yeah.
If we explained all the inside jokes, they would not be insides or jokes.
I feel like it would be really confusing and time consuming.
It would. It would be a yarn wall.
Yeah.
I do have
so many things to go back and try to figure out.
If you really wanted to, you could go back to our podcast episodes up on YouTube and Spotify and listen to those, and you'd be able to find out all of our inside jokes.
Oh, maybe I'll just put that on some background while I'm doing some of this more work.
Jokes aside, I have realized that. So you mentioned either doing a stealthy way, which I know our group, and that's not our specialty, or trading with the corpos. And I was curious as to what we would trade with corpos. I've never met them, so I don't know what they would want if they already have like the leader of a super powerful group. Do we have suggestions, or are we just going to go all stealth? Because that's fine. Like I'll find a way to be sneaky, but I'm a little bit more chaos than anything.
Here's my question. P-Bay, how long is this going to take to crunch the numbers?
Like I said, tonight.
It's 24 hours.
Well, no, I mean, like, tonight, it's lunchtime. It's almost lunchtime.
So like 12 hours.
So like dinner time.
That's pretty quick.
Well, it was almost, like I said, we had it all programmed, and then we just had to reprogram it based on what we talked about just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's the bones are there. We're just kind of rebuilding it. It's running right now as we're rebuilding it. So like I said, tonight.
You ain't got to sell it to me. I got you. Well, I mean, that's pretty quick. I was going to say, if it's going to take a few days, why don't we want to know from the DJs. Hey, why'd they just go out with them and a handful of folks and a couple of wagons and horses and to do this? We just go ask them. We got carte blanche.
Is that someone else in the group I don't know about?
No.
She was a singer back in the day, I think.
Yeah. She was good.
singer. Wait a second. There's a singer in the group?
Not anymore.
Do you guys
not
do,
anymore.
do you
We
go
kicked her
around
out a long time
performing?
ago. No, she went solo.
Oh. I'm so confused by this dynamic. Like, I know I'm part of it now, but like, this is weird.
It means blank card.
Blank card.
It means they like us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Carte launch.
That's what I said.
Okay.
So, okay. So, like, you could just go ask them, is what you're saying.
Technically.
It's an idea.
I mean, maybe they'll help us. I don't know if they'll do stealthy. They might be a little pissed right now.
That is what I say. We just end up in the city for a little bit, or in the fringe, and we blend in for a bit. We try to get the lay of land and things like that. Ask around, learn some things.
You're saying reconnaissance.
Well,
and
we
then
don't go in
smash
guns.
them.
We don't go in guns blazing the first time. That was.
Yeah.
I'm not my husband. He that was his thing. He liked to just shoot
That's smart.
first. I like
That's
to
smart.
know things before bringing out the big robot.
That's a good strategy. I'm surprised nobody's been doing that yet. That's pretty good. Never heard of that.
I got shot a lot. I learned to be quiet first.
Oh, very good.
I admit it was the other way around, and then Galen inspired me to just go out there, grenades blazing. So, so dial it back. Cool, gotcha. Thanks.
Well, at least here, let's figure out if we can find him first, and then we try to, we let P-Bay, is that the Paper Bay? Is it?
He's my favorite Bay. Yes.
Yes.
I
Okay.
He probably, PB is actually his name. It's PB.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. PB. B like B.
Mhm.
Okay.
Paper boy.
Got it. Let's let them do their job. We can't. We might not be able to bring weapon into city though. Is this within city limits or outside city limits?
Well, it's like that. Like, it's outside, but it's still part of it. It's the fringe. Like, you know how there's all the city that's outside the city?
Can we get through city guards, or do we need to acquire a weapon once we get in the city?
You can probably get it. I mean, it's outside the actual plex. It's
Cool.
just in the fringe. So you probably can get past the guards.
Fair enough. We bring weapons to defend ourselves, and then we can do some research. I'm sorry, this is not the part that I usually do. I usually make Declan do this part, but I saw him do it a couple times, and I think we can make it happen.
Sounds good. Yeah, hey, you can call him. You can call him if you want to, maybe.
I don't know if he's going to be able to come to Vegas on short notice.
That's fair.
I think, if it's okay, guys, I think that we all have so many people we can call in. And I think that it's going to be really important to sit. Maybe we should sit around somewhere comfy, somewhere a little less stressful. This is a little sterile. No offense, PB. But we have a lot of information that we need to gather before we can figure out what we're going to do. There's so many options for us at this point, and we have so many people we can call. And I think thinking of the best people for the job is going to be our next step, right?
Yes. Yeah. I feel like you're right.
Sam,
Yes.
you mentioned having a friend named Declan?
Yes.
Awesome. Hopefully he's 8.
Yes.
Is as nice as Katassi. You have some really nice friends, by the way.
They are very good. Yes.
Yeah, they're very good people. So we'll pool our resources, right? We got this. We've got this. I mean, we may not want to get down and dirty with it, but we'll get where we need to go. And if action is required, I know that we'll get it done, guys. I'm not worried. I mean, we're going to do this, right? And she's she's kind of sweating a little bit. She's psyching herself out, just trying to. You can tell she's trying a little too hard.
It is going to
Dog.
be here. Have a shot. Calm nerves.
Yeah.
Yay.
Cool. Oh, all right. Ah.
Hey there, Fringers. Ethan, aka Mox here. Are you in need of another actual play to occupy your time? Need something else to listen to while you're doing laundry or dishes? Then come on over to Go Buff Yourself, home of the City of the Crimson Tower and the Wild Beyond, 2 ongoing and very different campaigns. We've also got Mothership and a bunch of other one-shots there just waiting for you. And if you need additional incentive, Lauren plays a stoner turtle in the Wild Beyond. You can find Go Buff Yourself anywhere you get your podcasts. All right, enough from me. Back to the show.
All right, so we can let the crew disperse a little bit based on this decision to get more information and then refine the plan based on what we're talking about. So I think we can fast forward to a little bit later in the afternoon, approaching dinner time. Everyone has found a comfier place to rest and relax and kind of process all of this information that has been handed to them. I feel like we can zero in. We can start with Drall. Where is Drall hanging out? Is she with Paperboy? Is she at her apartment? Is she at the Winnebago? Is she at some other location?
She will likely, after everyone kind of wraps up being in the meeting area and is ready to go, she'll probably lag a little bit behind and talk to Paperboy for just a bit, but then quickly follow where the majority of folks are trying to go. If they're going to the workshop, she'll go to the workshop. If they're going to the Bago, she'll go to the Bago.
Okay. I feel like this was kind of a time where everyone like just retreated to their little safe spots.
Love that. Okay.
To get some stuff done. So like Mox and Dog went back to Dog's place, their place, to just kind of crash and process a little bit. I feel like maybe Sam went back home to check on Elijah.
Well, she has to tell him that she's going to go away for a little while. So there's a little bit of that conversation that has to happen. But, Elijah is used to it. There's some protocols and things like that. And he knows when he needs to be home and, be careful of strangers if they come to the door, et cetera,
And maybe... Did B go back to the workshop? Did she go to the Barfly? Is there some other like third space that she feels like chill and comfortable in with these kind of tough moments?
I think B went over to the Barfly, not only for the safety, but also to see if there's any word on Ferdy and maybe if there are any of Ferdy's contacts there that might show up.
So maybe a little bit of that muscle memory took you up to Ferdy's office, and then as you were going up the stairs, you were like, oh, wait a minute. Because obviously no one stopped you when you walked in. Like, people greeted you, people said hi to you. You're such a fixture growing up there. No one had a second thought. And then as you get up to the office, kind of that pause as you're entering Ferdy's space and remembering that they are not there, and their disappearance kind of kicked off a lot of these current lines of problems. So it's a little bit tough walking in. But if it's okay with you following this scene for a quick moment here, I think as B enters Ferdy's space, you're kind of hit with a little bit of anger and frustration, if it's okay to say that.
Absolutely.
I think maybe some of it boils down to a little bit of powerlessness because you want to have a better handle on the situation.
Well, yeah, not only that, there's grief, there's guilt, there's a little bit of hopelessness too, because Ferdy always had the answers. Ferdy was a parental figure, regardless of Solace being a lot of people as a village who raised B. It's kind of that feeling of this person who has always been there for me in troubling times, in growing times and changes, is not only gone, but gone without a word. There was no communication between Ferdy and B. There was no clue of where they would be. There was no hey, sport, I'm going to go on a trip. I won't be able to talk to you. I can't tell you where I'm going. There was nothing. It was communication with Galen, who is now gone. And that's it. And it's, the office is cold. It's dark. It's getting dusty. It smells kind of like bar, but not really. And it's depressing.
And I think that maybe there's also that dissonance in your brain of all of these new pieces of information, this new frustration kind of clashing against how you grew up.
Yeah.
And what was the bedrock of your faith and trust.
And safety.
And safety. So I can kind of see this scene playing you came up here, this wave of frustration and sadness and anger and all these conflicting emotions just bouncing wildly all over the place. And there's maybe this moment where you almost get so angry you go to knock something over or push something off the desk. But then you see a memento that Ferdy kept, maybe something you had made. And it was a really terrible first try at building a drone, and it was just garbage. It didn't work. It didn't have the right servos. It wasn't balanced. The hardware was off kilter. You couldn't support the software that it needed. B tried to put all these extra legs and sensors on it, and there was just no room, and it couldn't physically hold the battery that it needed to run this thing. And B was so proud of it, and it just fell apart. And it's something that Ferdy kept after all these years. And it's not seeing that and finding that makes all of those tough feelings go away. But it does kind of remind you that the good times definitely outweigh what's happening right now. Even though this is unknown, there's still so much positive in your past. You don't want to just give up on that.
And an intention for the future as well, clearly.
Right. And I think as that thought gives you a little bit of inspiration and gumption, I think maybe you can start to explore the office a little bit more. And I think there's that back room where the last person you saw Ferdy with from the masquerade was being held strapped to a chair.
It's the first guy I punched.
And as you look around this back room a little bit, trying to find something, notice something, sort through all these emotions, but still look towards the future. Could you make me a perception check?
Absolutely. Well, it almost hit a nat 20, and then it rolled over to a 2. So,
Oh no!
hold on one second. We're gonna metagame this really quick.
Chat, do we have any rerolls? What's on the screen?
I just bought myself a reroll.
B is also still pretty hungover and drunk, so not being on her A game is also fine.
What? Yeah, but I want to know. I must know what it is in here. It is important. All right, so I'm gonna redeem that reward that I just bought myself.
I just noticed that. I just noticed that you bought yourself that.
So I have a
Fantastic.
22 with my perception. But I
22. Okay. I had a nat 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that redemption arc was wild. I love it.
Whoa.
Right into a nat 20. Perfect. Okay, so B is looking around. And this is like the back office, the back room. This was where Ferdy kept a lot of their really boring stuff that B just didn't care about. Because this was like the invoices for the bar, the
bank boxes,
the schedule, like who's closing, who's opening, who did their last clean day kind of thing. Like the boring shit that B is just like, whatever, I'm going to go build a robot. So it's not like she hung out in here. And as she's looking around, that lack of familiarity actually draws your eye to a shelf in the back of the room. And in the middle of just like empty boxes of product and a stack of bills and invoices, you see a little flashing light, a blinking light catches your eye. And you go over to check it out, and you see that it's like a little external hard drive.
Oh.
And there's a little red flashing light on it.
Okay, so IRL, would that mean that it's connected to a power source, or is it just?
You would know that it has an internal power supply.
Okay.
You would know that this is it's like a super cyberpunk futuristic USB drive. It's a thumb drive that's sitting on the shelf.
Energy and technology inside. 512 yottabytes.
Cyberpunk future, Deus Ex Machina. You have a thing here with information on it. So yeah, you know that this is just a self-contained, standalone hard drive.
He's gonna go plug it in Ferdy's computer.
As you plug it in,
control.
it's just gone.
None. There's
Not a bit.
impulse control.
None.
Not a bit.
Rolled a net
So-
one on impulse
Put it
control.
in their own computer, and clearly it was Ferdy's. So
That's
why
just
would it be
because
called
you would have to
Ferdy's
run across town to do that. And there's a
Yeah,
perfectly fine computer
that
right there.
computer's right
I know
here.
how you work.
No, B knows not to put strange flash drives into their computer, but other people's computers, that's fine.
all of those day one trainings are all about putting the hard drives you find in the parking lot in your laptop, not someone else's.
Yeah,
That's how they
exactly.
get you.
It's fine. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. All right, so you plug this thing in, and you sit there for a second and nothing happens right away, and you hit that little like, oh my god, come on, what's going on, come on, like that moment of impatience when things that should be instantaneous are not instantaneous. And Ferdy's computer has a lot of very cool tech and very advanced biometrics and different types of software and hardware to protect itself with security. And you're pretty familiar with it. Like, they told you about some of it and told you never to touch it kind of thing. So you wanted to touch it and tried to figure it out. And you would get some of those like, messages. Got to say the magic word kind of thing. Like telling you specifically, B, don't do that. Because Ferdy just pre-recorded them. So there's a little bit of a click as a biometric scanner like slides out of part of the monitor, part of the holographic display base unit, and then slides back in. And a couple files pop up in a folder, and a video starts playing. And the video is Ferdy sitting in their office, right where you're sitting right now. And she's looking, they are looking directly into the camera. Okay. This is like the fifth time I've tried to record this, and I'll just be as direct as possible. If this video is playing, if you're watching this, I probably had to leave. And that means something much bigger is at play. And there is something much bigger at stake, because when I came to Solace, I put all of that behind me. That was part of the deal. That was part of why I was able to get away. I know I'm being a little bit vague with what I'm saying, and I'm sorry. But big picture here, if I had to leave, that means there's some really bad shit happening. And I probably was not able to prepare you enough. And I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I always had it kind of on my to-do list to teach you more than I taught you. But it's really kind of fucking hard to sit your family member down and say, hey, you know how the world works? It's not. And here's all the bad shit I did and how I'm trying to make up for it. But the good news is good news. The better news is that you're safe and Solace is safe. And even if I had to leave to go deal with some shit, that's to keep Solace safe, and that's to keep you safe. So there's a lot of information on here. It's going to be helpful to you. The people you've been running around with are going to be helpful to you. I hope I can come back. I don't know what's in store for me and what that means for you and for Solace, but I'm going to try my best, and all I can do is ask that you try your best. So, yeah, I'm sorry. And that's the end of the video.
As the video closes down, B is just going to be like, "It's okay, Farty. Thanks for making that." And then B's going to start going through files.
I want to cut over to Drall right now.
Good idea.
So, Drall, I think maybe you ended up back at your apartment?
Yeah. So after she had a conversation with PB, all the typical awkward stuff. Hey, I'll call you later, whatever. She decides to take the long way home. And in this time, she throws her hood up and she puts her hands in both pockets and she just takes in everything around her. She hears a child off in the distance, hears two gentlemen arguing, a woman laughing, someone drops a box and another person goes to help him pick it up. And she remembers why it's so important to keep Solace safe. These walls are a sanctuary. And without someone or someone's to mobilize and fight for it, keep it protected, it wouldn't be here. So as she arrives at her door, she seems a little more at ease.
And I think as Drall goes into her apartment with that feeling, your shoulders loosen a little bit. You're not as tense. You're not hunched in. As you walk in, you're not 100% clear on what you need to do, but you don't feel as stressed out by that lack of clarity, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I think that maybe Drall has a couple rituals she goes through to kind of clear her head and distract herself, some cleaning, some tidying, watering the plants.
I was just going to say, as she enters her own space, while she is comforted in the knowledge that her and her friends are going to do what they can to help Solace in whatever way they can, she's going to start trying to do a little self-care by making her environment feel a little more put together. She's going to put extra pillows on her bed. She's going to kind of throw every blanket on her bed. She's going to grab her glow, plug it in, and put on something calming to listen to. Maybe some rain sounds or some whale calls or some shit. And she makes the lighting in her space dim, calm, and she just snuggles there in her bed as she mentally races through the Rolodex of people she could call, people who owe her favors. Is there anyone on the inside? Until she kind of just lulls herself into a nap.
And as a few hours later, as Drall wakes up, again, kind of repeating some of that ritual, clearing your head, maybe getting something to eat or drink. Now that your head is a little bit more focused, I think you can start putting some ideas together. So, you know you have resources beyond the unknowns of really what Solace and Paperboy can do for you, which the more you think about it, the more it seems like they can do, because you've been learning a whole lot over these past few weeks. So there's still a real big question mark right there.
Oh, for sure.
The dust jockeys are another resource, but there's still a lot of unknown there, because even though you did have that freedom to work with them and go through their territory that Mercury gave you so long ago, you always worked with Mercury, and mostly through Galen. You're still not sure if that freedom lets you waltz in and ask questions or place a phone call. Or how do you even call them at this point? Because if Galen talked to Mercury, both of those people are unreachable right now. So what are you going to do? It does seem like they could bring some firepower and some tech, but how do you get a hold of it? So the big question mark right there. Another big question mark, unfortunately, are all of the people that came to help your crew when you were dealing with the cyber cult. And while there are a lot of those people out there, you don't really know how they showed up and why. You do remember that there was the pirate ship people. You do remember that there was the glam rock parkour doing stunts people. You have a very strange memory of a few people on robot horses surrounded by maybe living shadows, but that doesn't make sense. But you didn't get their phone numbers, and you don't know how they showed up or who called them. So there's another big question mark.
So many options to hyperfixate on.
But that being said, you know that you have a huge resource at your disposal, and that is the network of contacts you've made on the job boards over the years. And as you're thinking about all of this, you're like, this could just be a job that I put out there. That could be a thing.
And as this thought comes to her mind, she starts talking out loud. But if I did that, then it takes some of the control. But if we did that, we're also ensuring more safety for the crew. Okay. And she opens the door to the side and pulls out a second glow. And she turns it on. The screen flashes purple, and she's on the job board.
Mm-hmm.
And she begins to type up, inquire within, long-term job details will follow. Posted pay, good of Solace to be decided.
And
Solace / to be decided.
As you are working on that, I want to visit Dog and Mox. What have the two of you been up to this afternoon as evening is approaching?
Look, I agree that I was a bit of a jackass to the kid, but doesn't it feel weird to you? I mean, Galen used to be the one who would put together all the leads that we had and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. And ever since he's not been around, no one's really stepped up to do that. So then hearing this pissant say, here's what you're going to do, here's what you're going to do. It just felt a little weird.
He's a little big for his britches sometimes. Yeah. I don't mince words with him. You've seen it. Sometimes he's just straight up a dick to me. I don't know why. It's like, oh, I don't get what you're saying. Oh, what's your accent? Oh, you stupid.
He said he couldn't understand your accent.
Yeah, I guess so. What is this? Where's it? I don't even know what to say then.
I mean, between the two of us, I feel like one of us is more difficult to understand than the other.
Well, I mean, yours is charming. Now, granted, mine's charming too, but in a different way. Yeah, I mean, he's young and then he's twice as arrogant.
But
I get why it struck you though.
And in terms of what we would be doing beyond discussing that, where would you be heading, dog?
Like physically or conversationally? Sorry, physically or conversationally?
Physically. Like heading back. Are we heading back home?
Yeah. There's beers to drink and a bed to get warm in. Oh, wow. I mean, planning to do. We got planning to do.
And we can draw a curtain on that. Sam.
I was going to say one thing, if I may.
Of course.
And it's just, upon getting back, there's a moment where you can see Mox go, all right, so we're going to do this. And his face shifts to a little bit more determined. And that night, he, despite the advances, starts to obsessively try to get all the information on the area, the fringe of Vegas, every possible contact, anything he can. Now that this has been decided, he's obsessing.
Cool. Okay.
Can would Dog see this happening? Sorry,
I think
moving on, but
I think Mox's style of obsession is one that is very visually obvious.
So, on that note, Dog will be in his boxers with his kimono. It's not done up with the belt, but he's got his beer belly pooched out with a beer in his hand, hand on his hip like this. I'll stand up for you like this.
Please do. Podcast listeners, you are missing out.
That's some good physical work. Thank you.
And then while drinking a beer,
Good stagecraft.
Yeah. While drinking a beer, he's gonna say, babe, you got a pretty good moral compass. We got a lot of people just shooty. You're really thinking it out. I see you researching here. I know we're kind of sweating Galen being gone. I'm just throwing jogs 40 sheets to the wind.
I don't know if it's moral compass or survival instinct, but people are going to have to pick up the slack without Galen here.
I'm saying somebody's got to lead this bitch, and ain't nobody so far.
Not leading. No, never. No.
We got a man in the chair, and now you don't have
Jesus
to.
Christ, no, not me.
You know what they say? George Washington had a lisp. You could do it.
If that's the reason that I should be leading. Of all the possible characteristics I could have in common with the old GW.
I mean, I don't know the size of his wiener, but I'm just saying maybe that happened too. There's two right there. How many do you need? You got a third one? I can dig one up.
I mean, I'm sure his teeth weren't the only thing made of wood, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I feel like we've gotten off track here, and we were about to fade out before I called us back in.
We're away from fading out. You know what I'm saying?
So Sam, what's Sam been up to with Elijah? I think you've maybe gone over some of the basics, kind of discussed what's going on, but there's still some unknowns. Is there anything else the two of you have done as you are approaching the evening?
Elijah's probably gone back to putting headphones on and, watching videos and or doing other things with that. And she's continued drinking. And just kind of looks at a picture of them, and before she takes what will be her last shot of the evening, just kind of looks at the picture and goes, "For fuck's sake, Galen, I hope this is worth it. Last time you found somebody like this, you almost died then too." And then she takes a shot.
We are going to go back to B. B has not moved this whole afternoon. B has just been obsessively reading files and scrolling through data. And one of the things you have found is that while Ferdy has not given you like an outline of their backstory or given you a timeline of their life before Solace and during Solace, before you came into the picture, what you have been able to figure out is more or less like what Solace is there for. The reason the city exists.
Oh, fuck.
And it is twofold. One, it is simply to be a thriving community outside of the plexus. It is like a beacon of life and community here in the wasteland. It is a central point, a focal point for developing the undeveloped part of the country and trying to rebuild life outside of the corporate structure. So the grand scheme of Solace, so to speak, its end goals is to not only build itself up, but then support all of those other smaller little towns and communities and like be their foundation, like give them the resources that they need. Solace can develop and grow and bring in more and then just hand it out, right? So it's not just a city. It's trying to be the heart of this part of the country and relaunching what can be done without the corpse. And to that end, you saw a lot of stories and details and files and plans and blah 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 of Ferdy like fundamentally making this happen. Like being brought in as one of the founding members, as bringing in expertise and resources and connections and working with a lot of names that you don't recognize and understand to do this kind of thing. But then there's the second thing that Solace is for. And this one is a much more global impact. Solace is, for lack of a better term, a repository of real events. It is nothing but terabytes, gigabytes, Googleplex bytes worth of information saved and backed up and maintained.
It's a Library of Alexandria, but in
Yeah.
the wasteland.
Yeah. You see a lot of videos and recordings of meetings that Ferdy was in with other people that you don't know and don't recognize and don't always have their faces fully in view, of talking about how so much of the problems in this world are because of deception, because of the manipulation of information, how facts can be changed, video recordings are editable. What would have been once thought about, what once would have been thought of as undisputable proof and records, anybody with the right money and technology can just go edit. If you can change a TV program, you can change reality. So Ferdy and whoever else they were working with, and again, it's not like some of those people are definitely secret people that they're sitting around a table and they're just, out of the camera or they're blocked on the screen. But some of them are just other people that you don't know. And it's just because B is very young and this happened a long time ago. So it's not like this is all a mysterious clandestine thing.
But are they people that B could reach out to potentially?
Yeah, I mean, there's faces and names.
Cool.
That B could continue to do some research on. Absolutely.
B will remember that.
The game runner will have to come up with that. But a lot of the discussion that B is watching as kind of like the archives of these meetings, right, is them saying, look, there's all the corporations, there's the various governments, there's the United Nations, there's the IOG. They all run on intelligence, they all run on information, but information can be changed. So if the source of action is not consistent, how can anything else be consistent? So they birthed this idea to just literally record everything and collect everything. So now you are kind of connecting everything you've been learning about and seeing the depths of Solace that you wandered into over the years, some of the things you have seen in the bar, some of the things you ran into as you were dealing with the cyber cult last season.
Of the media that B has also been able to consume as well that nobody has reference for.
Right. Even as something as simple as like understanding the point of the tech at the top of the canyon and why it's up there. Like you're realizing when Paperboy was referencing the satellites and the point of Solace, this is what he is talking about. All of Solace is like a massive collection point trying to record the truth of the world when anybody with a computer can just say, oh, that's not what happened. So yeah, that's what B learned. That's what B's dealing with right now.
That's what B is absolutely deep diving into and has not moved a muscle and is crunched up like a shrimp in a chair, cross-legged, having to pee for like 8 hours, but ignoring it.
And we're going to go back to Drall. Drall, you have been refreshing the job boards, looking at some inquiries, answering some questions. When you put the call out there, it was very tentative. So a lot of the returns and replies you are getting are equally tentative. And they're like, well, we need some more information. We need some facts. We need to nail this down along those lines of communication. And you don't have all of that yet. But you know that Paperboy is working on everything.
I've got a copy paste doc up and ready, and I am just quick inputting these. If seriously interested, we'll follow up.
And as you are doing that, Paperboy has been texting you and keeping you in the loop. And throughout the evening, there were a few messages while you were napping, just saying hi, checking in, blah, blah, blah. Now that you are awake and responding to him, he's like giving you some more. So he's like, hey, I'm working through this stuff with Katassi. We're almost done. We've got a lot nailed down. We should have some definitive information within the hour. And he's almost like giving you like a live stream update. Like he's just live texting you like, oh, I did a thing and I got this picture. Oh, I figured out how to get around this firewall. Oh, I did this. He's just like firing off this like stream of consciousness as he's working.
I respond to every single message. I will heart react to it. I will be like, thank you so much. You're so good. Or thank you for working so hard on this. It's going to, yeah.
And he's painting this picture that while he has not been able to like crack whatever is blocking his ability to observe, like satellites and scanners and information. Like he has not been able to get around that. But what he has been able to do is basically by getting into the observational systems he can access in the Vegas fringe. So he's like tapping into security cameras, people's doorbell cameras, street cams, delivery drones. Like he's basically looking through everyone's eyes in the fringe to find what they can see that is conflicting with the data he has. So he's looking through all these external eyes to say, okay, I know there's a blank spot here. I have to look through everyone else to figure out from the outside what they're looking at. And he's painting this picture. He's like reassembling the map of what's missing. And he finally texts you. He's like, hey, I'm done. I got it. Like 1,000 exclamation marks. And he sends you a video file. And the video file is, it's like a composite video, because like you're getting 2 seconds of video from one feed, 5 seconds from another, a still that is clearly like copy pasted of two images, and they're kind of overlapped but they're kind of like making one picture. He's like somehow assembled this basically 30 seconds of video from 50, 60 different sources. And what you see is an abandoned hospital. And you see a couple big, giant monster trucks that you recognize as Winston Steele's trucks. And you see them parked outside. And then you see a couple dozen of Steele's troops stationed at various points on the roof, on various balconies, patrolling around the outside. And he said, this is it. This is where they took Mercury and Terman, which is Dog's friend Janice. This is where they are.
Oh my God. This is amazing. This is more than enough to Thank you. Do you want me to make you dinner?
Yeah, I'm starving. Oh my god, this has been so much work.
Well, come on over. I'll make you a sandwich or soup or pasta or whatever I could find.
Okay.
And after sending that message, she is going to. What is she going to do? She's immediately going to send a message out to everybody that says, "Found where our little friend is hiding, and yours too, dog. Our next steps are up to us. Sleep well, and I'll see you in the morning."
Okay, we're gonna end it there. That's perfect. That's it. That's it.
Nice.
Yep. There it is. Episode 4.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you all for listening. How can you not end on a good night? See you in the morning. Like, that was so definitive. That was so definitive.
I didn't mean to be definitive. I don't want to crush you creatively.
It was perfect. That was perfect. That was episode 4. Thank you all in the chat. Thank you for putting up with our shenanigans tonight. This was a wild evening. It was great. I think we all needed it. Thank you, future audiences on the podcasts, on the YouTubes. I hope you enjoy this as much as we did and are willing to put up with our shenanigans. If not, there's always like 2 times speed, and you can just, get through it a little bit faster. It is time for So Long. Let us hear from our lovely cast about who they are, where they are, what they're doing, how they're surviving in this current world, starting with Mallo.
You can find me everywhere at the Mallo Man. And you can hear me on the latest episode of the Ghost Boss podcast that just came out today as well. That would be Tuesday if you're listening to the podcast there. Go check out. It is the first of a 2-part episode, so the next episode will be out next week, where I sit down and I talk about what I do for a living, beyond doing Identico and things like that. Though we do talk about that a little bit in there as well. So it kind of comes full circle with everything. So go check it out. There's some dear friends of mine that put on a great show and talk to a lot of amazing creative people and still don't know why they were talking to me. So go check them out.
Well, clearly they were talking to you because you are an amazing creative person who's had a big impact on your community.
Lies and slander.
Yeah.
Lies and slander.
Wild. You're probably going to scold him too.
You can find me over at the Mallo Man's house, picking his rear end and his abilities and the outcomes of all of his projects. Otherwise, you'll probably find me on the couch, planning and plotting and trying to connect as many people as I can to other people that they need to be connected to. And I suggest that if you have the time and the ability, you do a little bit of that too. Love you.
Pete?
Hey, wasn't that a great one? We talked about like wood. We talked about all sorts of stuff. It was great. And how Mox should be the leader. It's great. Too late to argue. Sorry.
Show's done. It's locked in.
Yeah, I have the floor right now. Please don't interrupt. You can find me everywhere at the Mallo Man. .com at the Mallo Man. And thank you for reminding me at Thousand Faces Cosplay and at Go Buff Yourself and at the Buff DM and at 95% Lauren.
It's so much. Why?
I know. I'm saturating the internet, and one of those has A+ content. Amazing.
How does one person do it? I'm in awe of you, Pete.
It's I know. It's like I have a network of myself. It's great.
Lauren.
Stuff's heavy right now. So I like to run away with my friends into the world of imagination land anytime that I can. So you can find me here. You can find me on Thousand Faces TTRPG. I'm hanging out, mostly in my bed, watching comfort shows and playing comfort games, and just really trying to take care of myself during this time so that I can mobilize, connect, and work as hard as I possibly can to make sure that people get what they need and receive the love and care that they deserve. So that's what I'll be doing. Also, maybe showing some ass. I don't know. Bye.
Multitasking. And Ethan.
Hello. You can check out some of our other actual play content on Go Buff Yourself. There's a Mothership mini campaign, which is the stuff that so cool. Love. Wait, there's at least half a TPK, so we'll see what happens with the other half.
Nervous laughter.
Also, one thing I'm going to be doing, as was mentioned, life is kind of crazy right now. So in January, I'm planning to open up a few one-shots on Start Playing Games. No experience necessary, no payment necessary, just to help you escape for a little bit, because that's really all I can do.
And I am on your socials at the Caleb G. You can find me right here for all things Identico, here and there with Farm to Fable, and taking up a lot of space in the archives of the RPG Academy. Speaking of which, Acadecon 2024 was a great success, so thank you to everyone who attended and volunteered. Work has already started on Acadecon 2025 because, it's hard to put a convention together and it takes a long time. So we're already working on it. Stay tuned for more as we lock that down and continue to make this an even better con experience for all of you. That is it for today. We will see you in the cyber future for another cyber game. Good night. We love you. Take your meds. Eat your snacks. Drink of water. Touch some grass. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Connect with your loved ones. Please remember that no one is free while others are oppressed. And we will see you next time.
Mwah.
Neon Trails is Lauren playing Drall, Pete playing Dog, Ethan playing Mox, Wild playing Bee, me, Mallo, playing Samantha, and the Caleb G is our game runner. You can learn more about the game we play on this podcast by going to www.playidentico.com, and you can join us live for new episodes every other Tuesday starting at 6 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Identico. And finally, you can watch along with past episodes and see how to play videos on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Identico. And don't forget to follow us on the socials at Identico on Twitter and at Humanoid Games on Instagram and Threads. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next one.